So here we are on the Sheikh Zayed Road. Another great thing here is that all the roads are signposted very clearly in English and in Arabic. They have a highway or route number if they're a major road like this. And then I mentioned the tolls. So here's the toll bridge. We're in Al Barsha, and as the cars are driving from Dubai to Abu Dhabi or back, they will go through this Al Barsha toll gate. And I'll show you the cameras at the top of it in just a second when we walk a bit further along the road. So here we are opposite the Al Barsha toll gate, and you can see there are 7 cameras mounted into the overhead gantry facing the rear of the vehicles. I'm told the reason for this is because some people get upset if there's a photo of them and their mistress driving at the front of the car, so they take the picture from behind as they do the speed cameras in the UK. So it just takes the car's registration plate and it links to the device that's inside the car to record they've gone through this toll, and then they will get charged based upon how many tolls they go through between here and Abu Dhabi. There's another camera on each end of the other side. I think they're just monitoring the flow of the traffic. There's an 8-lane highway on each side, so that's 16 lanes here. That's why you're not allowed to cross, and they have very strict rules here about crossings as well. You can only cross on the zebra crossing. You can only cross when the pedestrian has a green light. You can't jaywalk, and I think the fine is 400 AED or 40 BD or £80 for each offence. I remember when I first came here, Ericsson was very strict with me. Tatai, only cross on the crossing. But you know, they have bridges, they have a lot of crossings, they have speed humps to slow the traffic down before the crossing. Sometimes the crossing is a raised crossing, you know, on a speed hump, so that the cars have to slow down a bit. Because I'm now beneath the metro, we can't see it. The metro is actually running above me. The metros are driverless, so are the trams. They're all automated, and they have signage in the station telling you when the next tram is due. Likewise, the buses, the bus stations all have electronic signs showing you the routes, showing you when the vehicle is next due, etc. Likewise, metro, tram, where else? Oh, the bus shelters as well. Some of the bigger bus shelters here, not everyone, but some of the bigger ones are air conditioned. I know when I was in Satwa, this was definitely the case, where we used to go and get the bus there, and it tells you when the next bus is coming, and also, as I say, the bus shelters are air conditioned, because you imagine here in Dubai in the summer it's 40 degrees. You don't want to be stood inside a glass bus shelter. One of the big arguments, I guess, about metro and public transport in the Middle East is that you know, people like to have their chauffeur-driven limousines, and they're not great fans of using public transport and having to wait for a bus and all that kind of stuff. But in fact, that really doesn't apply here. The next most asked questions about Dubai is, why are there buildings that look like armadillos all over the place? Well, they are in fact metro stations, and they're all the same design. The metro was built over a 2 or 3 year period, some years back now. They've extended the line since, but they've kept all the buildings the same so that it's easy to have a look at. So there's an overhang at the front here. This is where the trains come in and out. There's a platform on either side. There's then underneath the gold roof here escalators and lifts going up and down, so people can go up the platforms, because this metro is raised above the main road, so they didn't have to tunnel underground like they did, for example, in Doha. And there are sections that go below ground, but most of it is above ground, which also is great because it means you can see things like Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab, etc. as you go past on the metro, so it's a good kind of tourist advertising. Once you go in, there's a shop called Zoom, where you can buy food and drinks, which you can't eat on the train, but you can eat in the station. And then you tap your Knoll card, and then you go onto the platform. As I mentioned, there's maps showing you which way to go, which stations go in which direction. Platform 1, platform 2. Here we go, train just coming out of the station now. So this is going from Mashrek to Mall of the Emirates, which is where we've just walked from. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carriages. The front carriage is the gold class for VIPs. The back carriage is for women and children. that's a little bit of an insight into the metro. So I took some video on the metro. It wasn't really easy to talk because there were lots of people around. So you get to the platform, you choose which direction you're going in, the red or the green line, and you just wait for the train to come. It tells you when it will be there. The doors open, you get on, and then try and find a seat. Sometimes the lines are very busy. So let's have a little look at me getting on the metro. And then once the metro is going along, they have announcements between every station telling you which station is coming up.
The next station is Airport Terminal.
There's a very good YouTube video about the guy that makes the announcements. He has this amazing voice. He does them in English and in Arabic, and he's probably the best known voice in Dubai, but no one actually sees him. And he's also been doing the voiceovers for Expo 2020 as well. Just had a brain shortage then, couldn't think what I was meant to say. Definitely Expo 2020. So you know when you have to get off, and then you have your little NOL card, NOL card, and you swipe it when you get on and swipe it when you get off, and it deducts the money. So it's a very cheap way of getting around Dubai. So just for the sake of completeness, here's the other end of Mashrek station. You can also see the other side on the other side of Sheikh Zayed Road. One of the important things when you get off the metro, or if you're meeting someone at the metro, is to make sure you're clear as to which exit you'll leave by, because there's probably 2 exits on each side, so that's 4. So it's very easy to be standing at the wrong place. Each metro station also has a number on it. So Mashrek is number 33, and you'll find that at the entrance. You'll find it on the roof. You'll find it inside, and it's also printed on the map. So you know exactly if you're going from 33 to 23, then you have to go through 10 stations. So it's easy to keep track of where you are that way. And there's also what I call this kind of end-to-end public transport system, whereby there's the metro that you get on, and then there's taxis waiting outside. There's also what's called buses on demand, and also you can take your scooters on the metro. There's also places for you to park and lock your bicycles. So a lot of people that live, you know, a long way out, for example, many of my Filipino friends live in Dira or Riga, then they might well use their scooter to get to the metro station, fold it up, get on the metro, and then go to wherever it is they're working. This does add a lot of time for people traveling as well, and many of my Filipino colleagues work maybe 12-hour shift, and then they have 1 hour to get there and 1 hour to get back. Where it's a bit awkward to get to, they have what's called a service. So this is like a minibus that they pay for privately, or sometimes the company provides or subsidizes, and they take them to and from their workplace at their different shift times. And just in case you're a bit blind and you can't see the metro going above you on the left, or the metro station ahead of you on the left, there's marker posts along the way telling you that, for example, on this one, the metro is 100 meters walk in this direction, and there's also buses, taxis, and places for bicycles. Sadly, there's only one thing that RTA doesn't seem to be able to control here in Dubai, and it's a similar scenario, unfortunately, in Doha and in Bahrain as well, and that's these high performance cars. These two are available to rent here in Dubai and are very, very noisy. The problem is they're also very low on the ground, as you can see, and there's lots of speed humps here in Dubai because these idiots race up and down at 100, 120 kilometers where there are people crossing the road. So to stop them, they have built some very big speed humps, which means that these cars have to kind of go over sideways very, very slowly, and that makes them very frustrated. So then once they've got over the speed hump, they start to rev up their engine, kind of going rum, 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 rum. If you speak to anyone who's lived or worked here in Dubai, they'll tell you the same. And they do this 24 hours a day. So you wake up at night, you know, when there's an empty road, because you hear them revving. And as I say, they're available for rental here. So if you want to drive around like a come here, you can get a Rolls Royce, you can get a Bentley, you can get a supercar, and you can wake everyone up in Dubai.